Hey friends, um, been trying to decide whether or not to record and post this video or not, and finally decided I would go ahead and try to get it done. And I just wanted to share with you. I've kind of been on an adventure. I've got a few notes here. I'm going to glance at a time or two. Been on an adventure for 45 days, almost 44, 45 days, and I'm doing the carnivore diet. And I just wanted to share with you kind of what's been happening to me, and if it may interest some of you. I know I've got some friends that was having some of the same issues I was having, and so um, I just wanted to share what's going on with me, and why I would share about being on a diet. I've done keto multiple times in my life, 3 or 4 times real seriously, and lost quite a bit of weight just doing keto, but I did not stay there or maintain that lifestyle or that diet plan. And I had some pretty good results with weight loss, but I constantly uh, craved or wanted sweets, and just missed not having, I missed having breads and pastas and potatoes and those sorts of things. So I would always wind up going back to eating some of that stuff a little bit, and then a little more, and then pretty soon you're right back where you started. So anyway, I'm 49 years old. I'm a big guy. I have been north of 200 pounds most of my, ever since high school days on. I'm 6'6", pretty broad shouldered, size 14 shoe. I'm just big, tall guy. And I was getting up in weight, and I'll just say it. I was up to 390 pounds. So I carry my weight pretty well, but that's just a lot of weight. And so anyway, I decided I want to make a change. Some of the things I was experiencing, I've had high blood pressure for 25 years, maybe more. I've been medicated for all of that time, and on medication for high blood pressure. My good blood pressure was 140 over 80. So I've dealt with that. And then I've aches and pains, joints hurting, low back hurting, just generally achy a lot of the time. And I know I'm getting a little older, but I don't like that. And then in my family, there's been some issues with different people with rheumatoid or autoimmune type issues with arthritis or some derivative thereof. Someone's got AAS, ankylosing spondylitis, which is it's an inflammatory joint type disease. Um, has a lot to do with inflammation, and causes bone to fuse in places that it shouldn't. And so I was experiencing and some of that type of thing too, some flares where stress or something would bring on a flare up, and I would be hurting in my knees and feet so bad I would have difficulty walking sometimes. So there was those things motivating me, just my weight in general, and then I just, no energy and didn't feel good. And I've studied carnivore multiple times. There's some books out there. I've read those. There's a guy has a YouTube channel. I know everybody on YouTube's an expert, right? But there's a guy on YouTube, Ferrigno Freedom. I've kind of followed him. There's a couple of medical doctors that post real regularly on YouTube regarding the carnivore diet and some things you need to watch for. So I decided I was going to do this. I had blood work done. Did talk to my doctor about it the second time that I had blood work done. So I've had blood work in the beginning, and I had blood work 30 days in. Probably at 60 or 75 days, I'll do blood work again. I just kind of want to keep tabs on things and see how it's going, and what's happening with my body from a blood panel perspective, I guess. I've also tracked my glucose, my sugar, my blood pressure, and my ketones here at home using a blood monitoring deal that you use to prick your finger and use the sticks for that. So I've not just, thrown caution to the wind and decided to go do this. I'm kind of tracking things, and I wanted to see how this goes. So anyway, I'm 45 days in today. I'm eating only meat. I do have some eggs and a little bit of heavy whipping cream in my coffee, or if I can come up with some kind of a little dessert type thing with heavy whipping cream and some vanilla and some chocolate powder or something like that. But really, I'm not eating any vegetables or fruits, no bread, pasta, nothing. I'm eating meat, and primarily beef. I am trying to stick with eating meat from rumen stomached animals, which would be venison, beef, goat, or lamb. I have had some chicken and some fish along the way. I've had some seafood for a meal, but generally I'm eating a ribeye most of the time. And so, yes, you're like, holy cow, that's expensive. You're right, it is. But I'm not buying any other food. I'm not drinking soft drinks. I'm having unsweet tea, water, coffee. Those are my liquids. And so here I am 45 days in. I am basically right at 40 pounds down in weight. But I'm way more inches down than I am in pounds. The one thing I did not do was take a bunch of measurements before I started. I wish I would have, because that's a lot of weight to be down, but I'm down more inches than I am in the weight area. I'm down a shirt size. I'm down a couple of pant sizes in that amount of time. More importantly, though, about 30 days in, I halved my blood pressure medicine. My blood pressure was too low. I was at 112 over 52. Didn't feel real good at that amount of blood pressure. I'm not used to that kind of blood pressure at all. So I halved my medication at my doctor's orders. And then about 5 days ago, about a week after that, I halved my blood pressure again. And so I was just taking, a quarter of a pill twice a day. And then about a week ago, I stopped it altogether. And so I am not on any blood pressure medication whatsoever in the first time in my life in 20 some years. My blood pressure right now, I went out there and measured it, was 118 over 63. I know the weight has some to do with that, but there's no way losing 40 pounds would do that to me, because I've lost that much before and it didn't affect my blood pressure in any way, shape, or form. And this is, for me, this is crazy. So there's that. I don't ache anymore. My joints don't hurt. My back doesn't hurt. I can do something stupid. I can go pull a muscle. I actually have a ton of energy, so I can actually do things that I wasn't doing before and be sore from it, kind of like workout sore. And I've had an ongoing issue in the last few days with my knee. It's something I did. It has nothing to do with the diet. But I twisted it, or I don't know what I did, but I've got it upset with me right now. But in general, I have a ton of energy. I feel great. I haven't really done a lot of workouts or walking or anything like that. I really wasn't up to it before, didn't feel like it. I feel like it now. I think it's time to start doing that sort of thing. So I'm going to be working towards that going forward. What else? I haven't had a headache. I will back up and say, on the first 3 or 4 days of this, you, just like going on keto, you feel like you've got the flu. I had the keto flu. And but then after about the first 4 days, I really this time didn't have any issue at all. Eating the meat, I feel full all the time. I don't have any cravings or anything like that. When I was on keto, I would crave the foods I was missing. And on this, where I'm just eating the meat, I really don't crave anything. I'm thirsty a lot, so I'm drinking a lot of water. Part of being on the carnivore diet is people have a hard time getting enough salt. And to this high blood pressure guy, making myself eat salt or add salt to lots of salt to things, or salt my water just so I can get enough salt in me so I'm not having muscle cramps and some things like that. That is polar opposite of everything I've been told, trained, read, thought. But I have to make myself intake salt so I keep my salt up where it should be, my sodium. So that's an interesting thing. I don't know the metabolism or the metabolic reasons for that, but everybody on carnivore has that same issue. And then I'm taking a good vitamin. I'm taking in some trace minerals and some electrolytes that I add to my water, or even put in my steak, on my steak when I'm cooking it, to help salt the steak. Um, and then eating meat like this, getting in enough fat, because after a while, after 10 days for some people, others it's 30 days, your body kind of changes the way it gets energy and begins burning all fat for energy. And you have to eat fat. So bacon, I'm cooking my steaks in butter. I'm adding butter to anything I can. I've even buttered my coffee. There's some people do that on keto. Um, so I'm doing that. Um, I don't really know or have anything else to tell you other than that's everything that's happening with me on the diet. Let me look at my notes real quick. I am doing more than just carnivore. It's a little bit, they call it the lion diet, because I'm really not going into the chicken, fish, eggs, dairy, cheese. I do eat a piece of cheese once in a while for something different, but I'm pretty well sticking to the rumen based animals, eating that kind of meat, and that's what I'm doing. I feel great. I've lost a lot of weight. I've got energy. I'm off blood pressure medication, and that's all in 45 days. I intend to stick with this a while. I'm going to stay after it and then start adding some physical activity and some workout things to it. I get back down to an acceptable weight that I'm okay with. I'll probably start adding some vegetables and fruits back, but I'm just going to add them one at a time and let some time elapse and see how my body reacts to that. Something I was eating besides just weight had to have been driving my blood pressure up. And so I want to identify what that is when I go back to eating some other types of fruits and vegetables. So I'll be adding those back one at a time, real slowly. But for now, I'm very satisfied on what I eat. I'm not a cheap date right now, so you got to buy me a ribeye. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. Having some great success with it. Just wanted to share that with everybody. If you fight blood pressure issues, or you want to, take some weight off, and keto's just not been something you've been able to stick with, you might want to do some reading and give this a try. Don't just jump off on it and do it without doing your research. Do some reading, do some checking on it, get some blood work done. Oh, my blood work is great, by the way. There's nothing there really wrong. There's a few things that are high, and they will be my iron and my hemoglobin, and there's a couple other categories that are they use your hemoglobin and count and your red blood cell count and some other things to calculate their ranges. And so anything that around that is up because I'm eating red meat. And everything I read says your first couple of blood tests will show that. Pretty soon your body will level out and those will go back to a mid-range. So right now they're doing just what it's supposed to. I don't have any crazy stuff going on. My cholesterol's not going up yet. They do say some people long term on this diet, their cholesterol will go up some. But we are all learning right now that cholesterol isn't the big bad wolf that everybody said it was. That maybe they had that wrong with good, bad cholesterol and which you're supposed to have and not supposed to have, and what the levels really should be. There's a lot of evidence coming out now that maybe we've kind of overstressed the cholesterol issue a little bit. So anyway, if I'm off blood pressure meds, I'm losing weight, I have energy. If my cholesterol's up a little, I don't think I'm really gonna care. But I'll continue to do blood work. We'll continue to check it out, and I'll try to post another video another time or two on this. But anyway, just wanted everybody to know what I was doing, and if you have questions or something, give me a holler. Talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.